So Honda says they've done it. They've built the ultimate street-legal racing machine. This is a bike supposedly born right out of their MotoGP program with one single mission: to absolutely dominate. It's packed to the gills with tech, dripping with exotic materials, and honed for the track. So let's dive in and see if the hype is real.
But here's the thing. In the crazy competitive world of superbikes, the real question is this. In an era of all-out horsepower wars, where you've got rivals from Germany and Italy boasting just staggering numbers, is Honda's engineering brilliance actually enough to take the crown? That's what we're here to figure out.
Okay, first, let's look at the big, bold promise coming straight from Honda. They're calling it a MotoGP bike for the road. And look, that isn't just some marketing slogan. It's them throwing down the gauntlet to everybody else. They were aiming for a machine with zero compromises, built to shatter lap records right out of the showroom. And man, they have thrown everything at it. The parts list is like a racer's absolute dream. You've got an engine with DNA from their RC213V MotoGP bike, the very latest smart suspension from Öhlins, top-of-the-line Brembo brakes, and those wild aero winglets designed to literally glue the bike to the track at speed. And let's be clear, this is so much more than a simple facelift. Honda's calling it a clean sheet design. What that means is deep, fundamental engineering changes, all inspired by the lessons they've learned in the fire of MotoGP. They basically took that race-winning DNA and went all in.
And a huge piece of that race-winning DNA is this brand new throttle system, a first for any production Honda. So instead of a physical cable, the throttle is all controlled electronically. But what's really groundbreaking here is that two separate motors operate the throttle. This allows for this incredibly fine-tuned power delivery when you're exiting a corner, and even helps slow the bike down with surgical precision. It's a massive leap forward in rider control. Now, inside the engine, the engineers at Honda Racing Corporation, or HRC, well, they got obsessed with saving weight. We're talking grams here, but boy, do they add up. A lighter crankshaft, lighter connecting rods, every little piece is designed to reduce inertia. And the goal? Make the engine spin up way faster for an absolutely razor-sharp throttle response. And that weight-saving obsession continues with the chassis. Just by tweaking the thickness of the aluminum frame, they managed to shave off a full kilogram. Now that actually makes the frame a tiny bit more flexible, which gives the rider way more feedback and makes the whole bike just feel more agile and alive underneath you. So yeah, the tech is absolutely stunning on paper. The promises are huge. But let's move on. Because what we really want to know is how this all translates to the real world. What happens when you finally unleash this beast on one of the most demanding racetracks on the planet? And that's exactly what happened. Test riders took the Fireblade to the roller coaster that is the Portimao circuit in Portugal. I mean, it is the perfect place to separate the hype from reality and find out if this bike can actually walk the walk. And the immediate reaction for riders was just shock. Even though the official power figures hadn't changed, the bike felt monstrously fast. This quote from Motorcyclist magazine just captures it perfectly. The power delivery is so immense, it feels way, way more potent than the spec sheet would ever lead you to believe. And here's the thing, it's not just raw, untamed power, it's incredibly refined. Reviewers kept describing this amazing combination of surgical precision and just brute force. You know, it's such a rare mix for a superbike, to be both a weapon on the track and somehow forgiving enough to inspire huge confidence. The key word here is confidence. The combination of that refined chassis and the incredible electronics is so good that it lets regular riders push their own limits safely, making them feel like a world-class racer, lap after glorious lap. Okay, so the feeling on the track is intoxicating, no doubt, but feelings can be subjective, right? So it's time to move from the track to the lab and see what the hard numbers have to say. Let's put all this hype to the ultimate test, the dynamometer. On standard, off-the-shelf pump gas, the reality is, well, it's stark. The BMW S1000RR just makes more power. A significant 20 more horsepower right at the wheel. Now, the Fireblade is super potent at 198 horsepower, but in this first test, the German rival just flat out wins the numbers game. So what happens when you feed them the good stuff, high-octane race fuel? Well, the Fireblade jumps up to an impressive 207 horsepower. But the Ducati Panigale V4? It puts down a brutal 218. In a straight-up fight, the Italian bike just outguns the Honda. So let's just summarize the data. This table makes it crystal clear. While the Fireblade is absolutely in that elite 200-plus horsepower club, it's sitting at the bottom of this particular podium. When it comes down to pure peak horsepower, it just gets beaten by both the Ducati and the BMW. So we have the official promises, that incredible feeling on the track, and then the hard, kind of humbling numbers. How do we put it all together? Well, it really comes down to this fundamental conflict in motorcycle design: raw power versus total control. On one side, the dyno chart doesn't lie. The BMW and Ducati win the horsepower war, period. But on the other side, every single track review praises the Honda for its predictable, usable power and amazing feedback. You know, the very things that make a rider faster and more confident. And that's really the heart of it. Honda has built a masterpiece of refined aggression. They consciously chose not to chase the highest horsepower number. Instead, they engineered a bike that's designed to make its rider faster by delivering power in a way they can actually use, building that confidence lap after lap. And that leaves us with a final thought. Is the best bike really the one with the biggest number on a spreadsheet? Or is it the one that gives its rider the confidence and the control to shave that extra tenth of a second off their lap time? That's the question the Fireblade is asking.